Hi folks, welcome back. Today we're going to be doing something a little bit different. Today we're going to be looking at the recent Warner Brothers animation release, the Flashpoint Paradox. I'm going to be doing not as much detail. I'm going to be keeping things more vague. It's a more recent release. I don't want to spoil it for those who haven't seen it. And I do encourage people to see this. In other news, my glasses are broke, so if you constantly and being held together in the middle by a twist tie. So if you see me constantly fiddling with them, it's because they're half falling off my face, and they're they're two halves held together by a twist tie. In other news, I have this sweet super cool T-shirt from SharkRobot.com and Team 4-Star. Just came today. Thought I'd throw it on for the review. It's cool to have it. Been waiting a while for it. Let's start with the good. First of all, they do the Flash right. They really have a sense of motion about what a sense of Flash's perception, all the cool things he can do. You really feel the power. And this is a show for the Flash. This is like, if you watch this and you don't think the Flash has a cool power set by the end of this, I don't know what to tell you. If you aren't impressed with the Flash by the end of this story, there's nothing anyone is ever going to be able to show you to tell you to make you feel any different. And beyond that, the animation for all of it is very gorgeous. Warner Animation paired with Studio 4C in Japan has very anime flavor. And main point number 3 for the good is the story flows very well. They keep the thing rolling. You're never really bored. There's always something going on. There's always somewhere to go. There's always something to see. There's so much going on and so many characters they're throwing at you. Just constantly giving you a little Easter egg or a little, an alternate version of this character that for fans who know their stuff, it's a treat. You get to go, oh, that's Grifter. What are they going to do with Grifter? Oh, that's Intrigant. Oh, that's Lois Lane. Oh, that's Deathstroke and Lex Luthor and all these characters. And oh, there's Black Manta being badass. When do you ever get to see that? Now the bad. This is not for casual fans. This is not for anyone who doesn't know their stuff. You're not going to convince. If you want to pick a piece to convince people that this is cool or try to get them into it, this is not the piece to pick because they're going to be lost. Because, like I said, you get most of out of this. You have to know your stuff. Nobody can. This isn't the one that's going to change anyone's mind. You start them on like Batman or Superman the Animated Series, and then bring them up to Justice League, and then once you get them secure, you can drop something like this on them, because they're going to be lost otherwise. Bad thing number 2. This is trying to condense. Now this has 3 separate timelines. 3 different universes. It's a multiverse. You have the pre-52 universe, Flashpoint universe, and the new 52 universe, which we'll get to a little bit later on. And it has to try to make all these universes feel real. Then it has to go in the Flashpoint universe. It has to not only set up all these characters and show why they're alternate versions of the ones we normally see. That's the reason they have the not the extensive, but I would say the whole Justice League situation in the front of the film, so even a newcomer hopefully can get a sense of, oh, this is the Justice League. Okay, this is how they normally are, and then their hope, it doesn't really work because, like I said, you have to know your stuff. When you see the alternate versions, it's, jarring, and you go, ugh, the hell's going on here? Um, but since they're trying to condense 3 timelines, and a storyline that was one list of, one series of comics, but it had all these tangential issues like Flashpoint Batman, Flashpoint Aquaman, Flashpoint this. They had all these little mini series and one shots filling in the background of this world, so it felt fleshed out. Now you have to take all that information, all of it, and try to compile it into one movie. And they have to keep going and setting up these characters and setting up this character. It gets to be very exposition heavy. You wish that you could have more time for character piece or to do more little cool things or nods. But they really need to keep just info dumping constantly through the film. But thankfully, it just keeps ramping it so fast that you just kind of have to roll with the punches. But the more you stop and think, then it feels clunkier. It doesn't feel clunky when you're watching it, but the second you step back and like you're thinking about it through the day, that's when you realize that, wow, that's really jarring when they went to this and then they went to that and they went. This is something you kind of would think would have worked better as a like they did with the Dark Knight Returns releases, where they did a part 1 and a part 2. Is I really think this piece would be a lot stronger if it had room to breathe. They can still have the ramped pace, and there's loads of places that are action filled, and could have a cliffhanger that cliffhanger bite where you could just cut it off, and then you could continue, and that would give you time to play around and flesh things out more. Like I said, they keep ramping things at you, so you don't ever have a chance to realize how clunky. And it's Barry's journey in a universe he's not familiar with, so he doesn't really have time, thankfully, in the story to sit and dwell. So if he has to, meet someone, learn what they're about, accept, and move on. There's no, well, let's have a long digression about why. No, there's none of that here. And really, the final bad is this leads to the New 52 universe, and it looks like the next movie they're going to do is Jeff Johns' JLA first arc, which I dropped out very quickly of because I thought it was awful. And I think a lot of the New 52 is bad. And it really is crappy when you see the New 52 version of the Flash uniform, and you throughout this film, this animated feature, you've seen the Flash costume. It's very much the Wally West version, the later Wally West version. And it looks really good, and it looks really cool, and it looks believable, as unbelievable as it is. And then you get to the New 52, and they have to make it fit with when they redesign the costume, which the way they redesigned Flash's costume, to me, is just atrocious. And even with really talented artists like Francis Manapul, in fact, I think they steal a piece from Francis Drew, where they have Flash. It may have been Jeff Johns writing that one too, but I'm not sure. Where he was running on top of the helicopter blade, and they have that towards the end. But it's just ugly. And then if you go to the end, the stinger is, it looks like there's a boom tube and parademons. And it's not really a spoiler, because they have in the release, they set up this, like, yes, this next one is going to be, in our New 52 universe, the Justice League gets together and has to fight Darkseid, and, ooh, look how cool this is. Ugh. Special features, They have a commentary track, which is quite nice. It's worth a listen. One interesting fact: apparently, the Flashpoint story was not initially thought up to be the kickstart for the New 52. They kind of just dropped that on Jeff Johns as he was doing it, and they had to just spin it out towards the end, which just shows you how poorly designed the New 52 thing was from the start. You have a piece about the Rogues Gallery and Flash's various villains, mostly the ones you actually see in the film. One that bugs me on that is, and please forgive me if I slaughter his name, is Brian Bucalato. Butchering your name aside, he's the one with Francis Madripohl right now who's they're currently working on The Flash, and they're interviewing him, and it's been their job to reintroduce the Rogues Gallery. And in my opinion, they've done a terrible job. But they're going through the list, and they're having Brian sit there and talk about, well, here's what he was like in the New 52, and we didn't like that, so here's how we changed it, and now it's cool. And everyone is I'm just like, no, you're not selling me on this. And really, especially in something that's so entrenched in DC lore, especially all the fans who are going to be the ones, picking this up, or the hardcore audience who grew up, and most of us don't like the New 52. Brian, you're kind of annoying, and we're kind of pissed at you. Shut up, would you please? Quit telling us how great your ideas are, we don't want to hear it. And the other one is kind of a quick piece about the science of time travel and how it relates to the Flash and the science of the Flash. What would really be if someone could travel at the speed of light, and talks a little bit about the Speed Force that allows him to do these things and not, just friction set him on fire and stuff like that. One thing that was sorely lacking was an actual featurette on the piece. There's so many good voice actors. There's so many good characters. There's so much cool stuff here that I want to see that, and you don't. But I'm running long, so